Mr. L, come on up, please. Mr. L's looking for some music. It's the dark. Did we find it? Did we find for us some music? All right, we're gonna keep up. All right, Mr. L. My name is Laura D'Angelo, and I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of our department to honor Pete Lindblom as he is retiring this year. The kids can talk to you about him as an educator, but I'm going to shine light on Pete as a musician and as a friend. Pete and I met as colleagues at the Harley School in 1994. So I've known Pete over half my life, which is scary, and I came out unscathed pretty much, but over half my life I have known Pete. We were both a little wet behind the ears regarding music education, but there was a big difference between Pete and me professionally. I will never forget when Pete told me he was going to audition for the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. Now, these are not open auditions. You have to be invited to audition, which indicated to me very quickly that Pete was, as musicians like to say, the real deal. I always, and I will continue to have the utmost respect for Pete's talent and his dedication to his craft. After leaving Harley, I came to Webster in 1997, and Pete carved out his career teaching at the Jamestown School District. He served as adjunct faculty in the trumpet department at SUNY Fredonia from 1999 to 2016. It was in the spring of that year that I received a call from Pete saying that he was applying for the band positioning opening up here at Schrader. I knew that he and Tony Britt would be a great fit for one another. And in the fall of 2016, I once again could call Pete my colleague. Pete continues to have a thriving professional career, and he has served as the assistant principal trumpet player for the Chautauqua Institute since 1992. Is that true, Mr. Rowe? You are old, all right. And regularly gigs throughout Rochester and Buffalo. He's played for the Buffalo Philharmonic, Rochester Philharmonic, many, it's endless, the list of how many people he's played with. You can look online and find arrangements that Pete has published for brass quintets. He is a master of everything brass and trumpet. Pete and his wife Bonnie, who is an excellent musician in her own right, are proud parents and grandparents, and we wish them both happy and fulfilling years together with family and friends. Finally, if you know Pete, he is always there with a quick-witted comment and a great sense of humor. I'm looking forward to playing some rounds of golf with Pete. A bad round of golf is never a bad round with Pete, because, yes. Selfishly, Pete, I was hoping you would stick it out a couple more years so I could always point to you to be the oldest person in the department, but I guess that's not happening. So it is with friendship and respect that on behalf of our music department, I thank you for your expertise, your leadership, and your sense of humor, and we wish only you and Bonnie the best. So congratulations, Pete.
Let's get on with the show. Bryson on trombone, bell trombone, no less. So we call ourselves the 70s through 90s Revival Band as of, I don't know, noon today maybe? We just kind of thought this up because everything we're doing is from the 70s through the 90s, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. The last chart we're going to do, which I won't talk before, is really a cool tune. Mr. Gaspar, who's a regular sub here, awesome trumpet player, did that arrangement. And Hugh Masekela, whose name you will see as the composer, wrote that piece in the early 90s as part of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, in conjunction with Nelson Mandela and Paul Simon's Graceland album. And so that's the historic connection to that in the 90s. And so grazing in the grass is just about, that whole situation in South Africa. So we're going to end the show with that one. In a minute, I won't talk between the next two charts. Enjoy this Chicago chart. The last one now obviously featured Braden on the great Baker Street chart. And this is going to feature Evan and Connor and their two tenors, Donis and Jude, and anyone else have a solo, guys? And parents, if anyone has a camera that's a really nice camera or something, you're welcome to come right up here and get a picture of this, because this is really cool to look at. So if anyone wants to come up with their phone and get a picture on this side, would be more than fine. I'd love to have that. So here we go. Does anybody really know what time it is?
So as you guys know, it's Mr. Lindblom's last year, so as a band, we wanted to do something for him. So while they're getting ready, I have a few things to say. Mr. Lindblom, affectionately known as Peter, has been a jazz director for I don't even know how many years. It's between 20 and 100, we'll never know. Every year I've been with him has been so great. No matter how bad or good I am, he always manages to make it fun and implement new and fun songs. While most of us only have half a block a day with him, we make the most of it. He continues to make us better and support us. As a thank you for all we've done, we have a surprise for you.
teasing us there at the end.